Charles Hewlings. I'm a sculptor here sitting in London. My studio is in Kent. These sculptures, like the Valley Suitcase, originated, I suppose you could say, from an experience of a Mondrian show. And Mondrian drawings, like Pier and Ocean, I found a sort of whole world in there made up of completely anonymous little bits, basically. And I've enjoyed that, and I think I've sort of, that's something that's fed into these sculptures. Unimportant bits that could be, unscrewed, taken apart, put in a box, blah, blah, that make up this kind of world, hopefully. There are various things fed into this sculpture. For instance, an encounter with nature, sculpture and architecture, and the homelessness of sculpture. Portability is obviously evident in this sculpture, and specifically it was made to be portable because I had a show in Canada. 2 sculptures were already over there for the show. It was a larger space and I needed a third, and this was made in order to literally carry on the airplane. You have to always consider the portability of the sculpture, that it can be lifted, that it can be moved, that it can get out of the studio door and moved more or less on your own or with mechanical help. Apart from this sculpture that's in the show, really, I never have regarded it as a sort of concept, as part of what any sculpture is about. I rebuilt the sculpture in preparation for the building in the show, and I even surprised myself how far and high and it went. What also was sort of important was, in choosing a suitcase, was that the suitcase sort of stood for a building, for architecture. It sort of went with this idea of tried in many different ways, mostly in sort of model scale, of how sculpture might be combined with architecture in such a way that it's not an object within an architecture, but sort of integral with the structure, but also without actually interfering with the function of the building. Although the idea might have come from this encounter in nature, actually in the mountains in the Alps, it's easy to feel in the mountains that, what's mountain, what's cloud, what's air, what's the different densities and materials get very sort of overlapping. And I've thought of space all along, or more and more, not as a kind of gap or an emptiness or a pause, but as material. And wood, space, bit of steel, I feel as though the space is not just passive in any ways.